Welcome to Module 7, Lesson 7. So we have a really fun day today. We're going to be learning about tetranimals. Now, our I can statement says I can reason about composing and decomposing polygons using tetranimals. Now, tetranimals might be a new term to you, and it's our vocabulary term for the day. So what is a tetranimal? Well, this here is an example of a tetranimal. This is a shape that uses 1, 2, 3, 4 squares to make it. Now, a tetranimal is able to use more than 4 squares, but for our purpose right now, we're just going to use 4 squares. You're going to play a game today. It's a fun game. It's a game I grew up on called Tetris. Now, Tetris uses the different variations of a 4-square tetranimal. So before we play the game, what I need you to do is I need you to see if you can draw all 5 tetranimals that uses only 4 squares. And what I mean by that is, here's the example of the tetranimal I showed you right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Now, you can take the same 4 squares and rearrange them, but this does not count as a tetranimal because there's too much of a gap here and here. These squares need to be touching each other. There's no gaps. So if you look here, you've got a square, a square, a square, and then coming off of the square is another square. Or maybe you could have it coming off of a different point. So I want you to draw as many tetranimals as you can. There's 5 different shapes. And if you draw this just rotated, that does not count as a second shape. If it's 3 by 1, no matter how you twist it, whether it's laying on its back, standing up tall, it's still the same shape. You should have 5 different shapes. Now here's 1, and here's 2 shapes you can make with 4 square tetranimal. You have to come up with 3 more. Now pause the video and see if you can come up with them. All right, welcome back. These are the 5 variations you can make using 4 square tetranimals. Here's the first one I showed you. 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. This is the second one I showed you where it's got 3 down and 1 across. Now what I've done here is I went down 1, 2. I came off this way and then went down this way, almost making kind of like a lightning bolt. So these are the first 3 variations. This next variation is the same as this, except instead of having the square come off the bottom, it comes off the middle. And the last one is just simply 4 squares touching each other, making another square. So I want you to use this information, and I want you to play a couple of rounds of the games I have highlighted in blue under the vocabulary term tetranimal. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to rotate these pieces, and you're going to have to try and fit them into as neat and tidy of a bundle as you can. Now that might not make sense to you right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around and I'm going to show you what the game looks like. So if you click on this link here, it brings you to a screen that looks like this. So all you simply have to do is just press anywhere on play, and you're going to start at level 1. Don't change the level right now. You need to get used to the game. Hit continue. So it's coming down. Now I can move it left. I can move it right. I want to put it right there. Now if I hit up, it changes the location or the arrangement of the shape. And that's kind of a weird one, so I'm going to put it off to the side there. Now this one, if I'm strategic, I can have it come right next to it. At the very last second, I'm going to scoot it over and make it fit into a nice bundle. Now this will fit nicely here, right next to the other square. If I do this, I can squeeze this one in. Nope, I can't. Oh no. Yes, I can. And watch what happens at the bottom. It takes away that bottom row. So your ultimate goal is to organize these tetranimals by manipulating them to try and get as many rows as you can to go away, and don't let it stack too high. Watch what happens again. It goes away. So I can put these wherever I want. And this is going to take up 2 off the bottom row. And you got to start getting creative because they give you harder and harder combinations. And if I press down, it comes down a little bit faster, but that's not always a good thing. Whew, this is getting kind of tough. It's starting to look really weird, right? So that can go there. I can get lucky. I can put this one here. Whew, sometimes you got to make a sacrifice, right? If I put this one all the way over, it's going to take that second row out, and it leaves a nice gap right there. But if I mess up, if I don't play very well, and it stacks too high, game is over. I'm still on level 1. I only got 3 rows completed. I want you to have fun and play a couple of rounds of this game, and then I want you to attempt Zern and go to the debrief questions. We'll play a little bit more of this during the debrief. I just want you to kind of have a couple of rounds to get used to it so you know what tetranimals are. I'll see you in the debrief.